Hey guys, what's up? It's Justin from Closet Nerds, and today I'm going to be reviewing the premiere of the CW's new show about the fastest man alive, The Flash. So now we're going to be talking about the interesting things and the characters we saw in the premiere this week. For those of you who have already seen Arrow Season 2, we're already familiar with The Flash, but for those of you who haven't, let's take a closer look at him. Grant Gustin, the former Glee star, is playing Barry Allen, aka The Flash. Now, don't hold it against him that he was on Glee, because he does a great job portraying the character of Barry Allen. We first meet Barry Allen as he's running late to his crime scene investigation. When he shows up on the scene, he immediately gets a hard time by the chief of police, but then he goes to work. He investigates that scene so perfect, and we just see how great of an investigator he actually is. The next big character we see is Iris West. Now, we know she eventually becomes the wife of Barry Allen. They have a nephew who is Wally West, so maybe in the future we'll eventually see a Kid Flash come into character. After his mom was murdered, and his dad was put in Iron Heights for the murder of his wife, he was adopted by Detective West and raised in the West household. So that is why Iris and Barry are really close. So even though they're brother and sister, we see that Barry has some feelings for Iris, and all the fanboys know that they're going to get together eventually. When the particle accelerator explodes, Barry Allen is struck by a lightning bolt in his lab. After 9 months of being in a coma, he wakes up at Star Labs surrounded by Caitlin Snow, Paco Ramon, and Dr. Harrison Wells. As many of you know, Paco Ramon becomes the career Justice Leaguer known as Vibe. Caitlin Snow, on the other hand, becomes the classic DC supervillain known as Killer Frost. And Dr. Harrison Wells, he's actually not in the comics, so we don't know anything about his character. However, there have been speculations about him being Impulse, Legion of Superheroes, Brainiac, or Professor Zoom, or anything else, because we don't know actually who he is. I don't know what to say. Much like the Mirror Crew in Arrow was the vehicle to give people powers, we see that the particle accelerator is going to be used in the same way in The Flash. We first meet Weather Wizard, who is Clyde Mardon. Now in the comics, we know him as Mark Mardon, but in the Flash series they decide to make it his brother. Weather Wizard receives his powers from the same particle accelerator explosion that Barry Allen was in. Detective West was chasing after Clyde Mardon when the explosion happened, and this in turn made his plane crash. While everyone thought that Clyde Mardon was dead, he was actually doing petty crime. Flash and Detective West both came to the same conclusion and tracked Clyde Mardon back to the farm where they originally found him. With help from his friends at Star Lab, he ran the opposite direction of the tornado, which then caused the tornado to collapse on itself. By doing this, he was able to stun the Weather Wizard, and Detective West was able to take the shot and take him out. Now Detective West knows that Barry Allen is the Flash, and that he was indeed telling him the truth about his mom's murder and his dad's arrest. Now, we've already seen that Professor Zoom, or Reverse Flash, is actually in this season. We're not sure of who exactly it is right now, but there are two people who can fit the character. One is Eddie Thawne. Now, he's actually Professor Zoom in the comics. But we also saw that Dr. Harrison Wells is from the future. So we're not sure if he's Reverse Flash or if Eddie Thawne is. When walking with Dr. Harrison Wells through Star Labs, they pass a cell that's ripped open and with the name Grodd on the cell door. Now, we all know that this is actually Gorilla Grodd, and I'm excited to see a talking ape in this show. We also think that he got his powers from the same explosion as the Flash. From the same explosion from the particle accelerator, that also opens up a whole lot of avenues for the CW to take towards other metahuman characters. For instance, like Static, Plastic Man, or Clayface. Well guys, that ends the review for episode 1. If we missed anything, or you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And remember, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe below.
Subscribe.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.